we fight? To gain what we cannot take with us? It's in our nature.
Hello there. Sorry from 17 once again. This is my Assassin's Creed Syndicate 100% sync video walkthrough. This is sequence 7, a motion to impeach, or just motion to impeach. I have the tendency of adding things at the beginning that probably aren't there. This is the assassination mission for this sequence, and I think this one is a really interesting one. Because not only can you do it relatively cleanly, but it's got a lot of layers to it, and it took me a while to actually figure out where I was meant to go. On my trial attempt, I got the password to get in the room, and I had no idea where the bloody room was. It took me far longer than it should have. But the good news is, I now know, so I can hopefully alleviate that struggle for yourself. So the guy is just here, who we need, and what's going to happen is he's going to patrol quite close to this part of the palace that we're on. And what we're going to do is, I say palace, isn't this the connecting part of Big Ben? We're going to throw a smoke bomb, we're going to rush up to him, and then we're going to pickpocket him. But the pickpocketing is really sporadic. If you don't get the circle starting to move, you're not pickpocketing, and times it will flicker up and flicker off and flicker up and flicker off. I drop another smoke bomb then for safety, just to make sure nobody gives me any issues getting out of there, because once again the crapple is sporadic and we do not want to be beaten by technology. So once you're up here, you can then progress onwards, and all you have to do is run across these rooftops towards the opposite corner of where we started, and we're going to be making our way down there and moving towards the door. And once you're at the door, it does the assassination for you. It's really convenient, but there's a little stealthing that's going to be happening between here and then, so please stay tuned for that. Also, these rooftops are a little bit awkward to traverse, because if you go a little too heavy on the spine of them, you'll slide down the other side, and it can be a bit of a nightmare. But it's nice to see geometry making a difference, because for the most, you could literally be climbing a climbing wall in some kind of, climbing center, because that's literally what all the geometry feels like on this game, because you climb it so willingly. It doesn't seem to make a difference like it used to. In the older games, there was almost a certain path that you had to find, and there was an element of puzzle solving to it. It was nothing massive. I mean, don't let me, blow smoke up your ass, but there was an element of puzzle to it, and I think they've lost that now with the I'm just going to grab everything fervently, and I'd like to see that come back. Like, I'd like to see options in linear climbing sections where things break off and they become invalid points of egress. It'd be really nice to see that kind of thing, but it's just not the way that they go with it. And the only reason I'm picking this lock is to give me options should I need to move a different direction, if you're wondering. I was also checking to see if these guys would be on an easier path, and they weren't. So the better path is the one we were on before, and we need to wait for the bold bouncer guy to be looking a different direction so that we can get past him. So now that I've checked both of those potential passes, this is the easier one, and I notice I have a window of opportunity right now, so I drop a smoke bomb because he's just about to turn around, and I didn't want to mess around with the timing there. I cruise all the way over here, drop another smoke bomb just in case, because there's people looking from the right, and I should be able to immediately touch the door, but I can't because he got a little bit onto me, didn't he, when I dropped the smoke bomb, which is annoying, but it happens. So go inside the confessional that's not a confessional that exists in almost every area. It's like a shitting booth or something. I don't know what it is. Handy J booth? No idea. Beard trimming booth? Answers on a postcard, guys. What do you think the silliest use for that booth could potentially be? But once again, we're waiting to not be anonymous, even though there's no threat ring around us. There's no reason it shouldn't trigger. It's just, once again, the game is just not good. Straight up. No one's looking at me, no one's aware of me, no one's alert, and I cannot touch the fucking door because of pedantic bullshit hierarchy. And there you go, he's dead. So, if I were to criticise these potential moments, the only thing you could really say is you don't feel like you're doing much because it kills most people in cutscenes, which is a bit of a shame, but it works, and if it works, I'm not going to make any fuss, because so little parts of Assassin's Creed these days do. But all we have to do now is make our way out. We're going to go out the exact way we came in. We're going to go past this walkway, we're going to go out the door, we're going to go up onto the roof, and then we're going to be going across to the Thames. It's a strategy that works, and that's the end of the mission, effectively. All we have to do is not kill any policemen. Or policemen. because if you do, you'll fail your objective. But I do think that the assassinations are some of the easiest missions in the game, just because once you have the unique kill opportunity, all you have to do is get to it. So you have to do 2 parts and you're done. And I think it's an interesting way of doing it. It could be more in depth, but it doesn't have to be complicated, you know. It could just feature more things. And I think the earlier one with the surgeon in the auditorium, where we had to get the key off that guard and we had to talk to that woman and then we had to go down into the basement and stuff, I think that's probably the best assassination, because it feels like you're doing stages working towards getting to some conclusion, whereas in a lot of these it's like, I talked to this dude, now I can go on this roof and stab this guy in the face. But it's, I don't know, how do you feel? Are you a big Assassin's Creed guy? Are you thinking that this is reinventing the wheel? How are your thoughts? I'm not going to say I'm disappointed, because I don't get disappointed with Assassin's Creeds anymore, because I know what to expect. I know to expect less. And it sounds like I'm incredibly critical and harsh against this franchise, but it's just because it's been going for so long. Like, from a technical perspective, I think they do wonderful things. As far as designing a world and filling it, I think they do wonderful things. But the part where you're playing the game is the most important part to me, and it's the part where they always fall down. And I am one to kick people when they're down, it seems, when it comes to my critical analysis of their work. So thank you very much for watching, and you take care now.